Hey everybody, this is Alex Merced from alexmercedcoder.com. In this video I want to show you just a really cool feature of VS Code. And let me just kind of walk through what extensions you would need. Docker. Okay. This one we need. I think that's the one we need. Might be a different one. I think it's this one. Remote containers. Okay, here we go. So, remote containers, what this does, it'll allow you to actually open up a folder in VS Code as a container. So let's say you have a new computer and you've installed VS Code. You don't have Node, you don't have Ruby, you don't have Python. You don't have any of these things installed and you really don't want to deal with installing them. Using remote containers, all you have to do is you do have to install Docker. Okay, so you will have to install Docker. Basically what you do is you install this extension and then just follow the directions here to set it up. But once it's set up, life is easy. Okay, so for example, I created this new folder called development Docker, meaning these are going to be folders where they're Docker-based environments. First, I'm going to create one for Python. Okay, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to open up that folder. So I'm going to say that's open folder. Development Docker Python. I'm going to open up this folder and then I'm going to open up the command palette, and right here say remote containers open folder in container. Okay, so I click that, just this folder, and then it's going to ask me what container I want to open it in. And as you can see here, once you have this set up, so you install the extension remote containers and you've installed Docker on your system, you have all these different things to choose from. Okay, and show all definitions, so all available predefined container definitions. Okay, so we can keep going down and see, we can see like C++, Dart, Deno, Elixir, Elm, Go, Hugo, Java, Java 8, Julia. Okay, there's a lot of them. Perl, PHP, PowerShell. Hey, so I could do like Windows development here on Linux. Python 3. So here we go, Python 3. So I click on this one, and this one is like Python 3 with PostgreSQL in the same container. But I'm going to do Python 3. I'm going to say I want Python 3.9. Okay, and other options for the Python 3 dev container. Yeah, let's keep Node.js in there. I hit OK. And what it's going to do, it's going to see it's building a container. So starting dev container, showing log, building image. So it's doing the thing. It's getting it started. It takes a second. See, it's building the first time it's going to take a little bit longer because it's building the image. It's building an image specifically for your application. And you could create your own custom images. You would have to use what's called a Docker file, but that's a little bit more advanced. So if you know how to use Docker and how to create Docker files, you can create whatever environment you want. You would just select from the options. So like where it was choosing your containers, there's an option in there saying like use Docker file, and you would just point it to the you have to have the Docker file in the folder, and that option should pop up. Okay, I actually use this technique to create a BOSC dev environment, BOSC being this sort of new experimental language for Microsoft. But basically what it's doing, it's building the actual Docker image for this particular application. And then what's going to happen is that it's going to put a little folder in there with the settings, the VS Code settings for this particular folder, so that way anytime going forward, if I open up this folder in VS Code, it's going to pick up that I want this to open up in a container, and then just set up the container, and I'll be able to work in the container. I have basically this becomes sort of where I save information in that container, this folder here. And again, you don't have to necessarily install Python, you don't necessarily have to install Ruby, you don't have to install Perl. You can work with all these different languages by just using a container, just using the container for the language you want to work in, and you now have an environment to work in that language. But again, it does take a while to create a container, so bear with me. But what I will do is I will just create a basic quick. So let me quick file yet. Nope, not yet. It's gotta wait for it to finish. We'll do a quick hello world and show you that, hey, look, we're in Python. Like I have Python installed in this computer, so you know, this is unnecessary. Before I knew that you could do this, I had installed pretty much every language. I have Rakudo set up, Raku. I got PHP, I got Python, I got Ruby, I got the JRE, I think 11 set up, I got Dart installed. It's all installed. Okay. It wasn't until I ran into Bosk and wasn't able to really set up the environment successfully that I looked into this option, and I'm just like, why did I install all that stuff when I could have just done this? Okay, and not have to mess with all the, mix all these files together in my operating system. Okay, so it's progressing. Okay, what I might do is just pause the recording while this finishes up. Cool, and it finished. So you can see here it creates these two hidden folders. Your normal .VSCode folder, which is just for like, your normal VS Code settings, and then this dev container folder, which is specifically keeps the Docker file for this particular environment, and the container JSON that explains the details for this environment. So that's all there. So now if I open up the terminal, see, this looks a little bit different. Okay, see, it says workspaces Python because I'm in the container. And you can actually see up here it says dev container Python 3. So this folder here, let me make a file, call this hello world.py. And we'll just say print hello world. Okay, and then I can just say Python hello world.py, and it works. See? Nice. And then if I do it like an ls, like just normal bash commands, see, the only thing I have in there is ls. And if I were to do like a cd up, I'm in workspaces, which again, there's really nothing in this system. Let's go up another folder. And then there I'm here in the root of like a Linux install, so you can see all the root Linux stuff. And yeah. So I can go back to workspaces, back to Python. And then here's the folder where I can just kind of do Python stuff. And if I were to do like Python -- version, I got 3.91. If I were to do pip -- version, okay, there we go. Python 3, so we got a nice new version of pip. And yeah, you would just basically do your thing from there. And you can do this again with any language. So that's it. I just really wanted to kind of show this feature because I thought it was a really cool feature. Okay, it makes it really easy to kind of set up a new language on your system. Have a great day. Enjoy. My name is Alex Merced. Make sure you like the video, subscribe to the YouTube channel, subscribe to my podcast on Spotify, WebDev 101, also on iTunes, and head over to devnursery.com and alexmercedcoder.com and join the Slack and Discord communities. Have a great day and enjoy.